Welcome back, everyone. We're diving into something pretty fascinating today.
Fascinating is a good word for it.
Sand tray therapy and how it can help folks with autism.
It's really quite interesting.
And, we've got some great research and articles.
Yeah.
But the mission here is to really, like, get to the heart of how sand tray therapy can unlock,
Right.
like,
We're-
emotions and reduce stress and
Yeah,
even,
and build social skills.
yeah, boost social skills.
You know what's so interesting about it is it uses a sandbox and
Okay.
a collection of these miniature objects and creates this
Okay.
world of symbols and metaphors.
Interesting.
It's like a visual language
Right.
that bypasses the need for words,
I like that visual language.
which can be so helpful
Yeah.
for individuals on the spectrum.
Okay, I have to admit, I'm really intrigued. I've heard about this.
Yeah.
I've heard about it,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm not sure I totally get how it works.
Oh, yeah.
Can you walk us through a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. So imagine a child with autism sitting in front of this
Okay.
sandbox filled with sand, and around the sandbox is this
Yeah.
huge collection of miniatures.
Okay.
People, animals, buildings, trees, all sorts of everyday items,
Gotcha.
even fantasy figures.
Oh.
And the child can choose any miniatures they want
Okay.
and create whatever scene they like.
Okay.
And just the act of selecting those objects
Ah.
and arranging them in the sand
Yeah.
can reveal a lot about their inner world.
So is it kind of like playing with dolls or action figures?
Oh, that's a great way to put it.
But with a therapeutic twist.
Absolutely. It taps into that natural inclination for imaginative play.
Yeah.
But it's guided by a trained therapist who can help interpret the scene
Oh, okay.
and guide the individual towards insights.
So let me make sure I'm understanding this right.
Mm-hmm.
The therapist isn't telling the child what to do
Right.
or analyzing their every move, right?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Sand tray therapy is all about free expression and exploration. The therapist role is more like a facilitator,
Okay.
creating a safe and supportive space
Yeah, sure.
and offering gentle prompts like, can you tell me about what you've built? Or
Okay.
how does this scene make you feel?
Okay, so where did this whole unique therapy originate?
Oh, good question.
Is this a new approach?
It's actually got a surprisingly long history.
Oh, okay.
It was developed back in the 1930s
Wow.
by a Swiss psychotherapist named Margareta Wood,
Okay.
who was influenced by the theories of Carl Jung,
Oh, wow.
the famous psychologist who studied the unconscious mind.
Okay, so tell me more about this unconscious mind business.
Yeah.
How does that connect?
Jung believed that the unconscious mind is like this storehouse
Okay.
of memories, emotions, and experiences that we may not be consciously aware of.
Okay.
And he believed that this unconscious material could express itself
Okay.
through symbols and metaphors.
Ah, so the idea is that the child's choices in the sand tray
Mm-hmm.
could be revealing something deeper than even they realize.
Exactly.
The placement of a certain figure,
Okay.
the way the objects are arranged,
Okay.
even the choice of colors and textures
Oh, yeah.
can all hold symbolic meaning.
Wow.
And by exploring these symbols, the individual can start to understand
Okay.
and process their emotions in a new way.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
So let's talk specifically about
Yeah.
how this applies to individuals with autism.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned earlier that sand tray therapy can be especially helpful for them.
Right.
Why is that?
Well, you know how individuals on the autism spectrum
Yeah.
often face challenges with verbal communication?
Oh, for sure.
Sand tray therapy provides a non-verbal outlet for them
Okay.
to express their feelings, needs, and experiences.
They're giving them a way to communicate
Exactly.
without having to rely on words,
Yeah,
which can be really difficult for some.
for sure.
Can you give me a concrete example
Oh, absolutely.
how this might work?
Let's say a child is feeling overwhelmed.
By sensory overload,
Okay.
something that's quite common with
Yeah.
autism.
Yeah.
They might not have the words to express that feeling,
Right.
but they would create a scene in the sand tray
Okay.
with objects piled up in a chaotic way.
Okay.
Or they might build walls around a figure
Interesting.
to represent feeling trapped or closed in.
Wow, I ever thought about how the placement of a miniature figure
Yeah.
could represent a feeling of isolation.
Right.
That's so insightful.
And the beauty of it is it allows the child to express those feelings
Okay.
in a safe and contained environment.
Yeah.
They're not being judged or pressured to explain themselves.
Right.
They can simply create and explore.
So it's not just about expressing emotions,
No.
but also about regulating them.
Precisely the tactile nature of working with the sand.
Okay.
And the miniatures can be incredibly calming and grounding,
Yeah.
especially for individuals with sensory sensitivities.
Okay, so we've talked about emotional expression.
Yeah.
And regulation.
Yeah.
What about social skills? I know that's another area
Yeah.
where individuals with autism can face challenges.
Right.
Can sand tray therapy help with that?
It absolutely can, even though it's a nonverbal therapy.
Right.
It sounds counterintuitive.
It does.
But bear with me.
Okay.
Sometimes therapists encourage collaborative sessions
Okay.
where two individuals work together in the sandbox.
That's interesting.
Right.
Yeah.
This seemingly simple act can help develop crucial social skills.
Okay.
For example, they might need to negotiate who gets to use which miniatures,
You know.
or they might collaborate on building a scene together.
Gotcha.
These kinds of interactions,
Yeah.
even if they're primarily nonverbal, can help build skills like turn-taking,
Oh, yeah.
cooperation, and even compromise.
So they're learning to navigate social situations
Exactly.
in this symbolic world,
Right.
which can then translate to real-world interactions.
Exactly. It provides a safe and structured space to practice those skills. Okay.
Without the pressure of direct social interaction.
This is fascinating. I'm starting to see how sand tray therapy
Yeah.
can be a valuable tool for addressing a wide range of challenges
Yeah.
associated with autism.
And we're just scratching the surface.
Oh, wow.
There's so much more to explore about the benefits
Yes.
of this unique approach.
I can't wait to dive deeper. Okay, I'm really starting to get this this whole nonverbal communication thing through the sand tray therapy.
Right.
But I'm curious, do therapists ever notice any recurring themes
yeah.
or symbols
Yeah.
that come up, especially with individuals with autism?
That's a great question. And yes, there are some common threads.
Okay.
Though, of course, every individual is unique.
So what kind of patterns are we talking about?
Well, one common theme is the use of enclosures.
Okay.
Imagine a child placing a miniature figure
Okay.
inside a house,
Okay.
a car, or maybe even surrounding it with a fence. Okay, I can picture that. What would it typically represent?
Often enclosures symbolize a need for safety,
Okay.
a desire for boundaries, or even a feeling of being overwhelmed. It's like they're creating a visual representation of their need for a safe space,
Yeah.
which makes sense considering the sensory sensitivities that
Yeah.
many individuals with autism experience.
That's fascinating. So something as simple as a fence
Right.
in the sand tray
Mm-hmm.
can speak volumes about what's going on inside.
Exactly.
Are there any other common symbols?
Water is another big one.
Water. Okay.
Think about it. Water can be calm and peaceful,
Yeah?
or it can be turbulent and destructive.
Right.
It's very evocative.
So how might a child use water in
Yeah.
a sand tray scene?
They might create a scene with a raging river
Okay.
to express anger or frustration,
Okay.
or a calm lake to symbolize peace and tranquility.
Gotcha.
Sometimes you see a miniature boat being tossed about on the waves, maybe representing a feeling of being overwhelmed or out of control.
It's incredible how these everyday objects can
I know, it's amazing.
take on such profound meaning
Right.
in the context of the sand tray.
And the more the individual works with the sand tray,
Okay.
the more they start to recognize these patterns themselves, gaining valuable self-awareness.
That's so empowering. Now, so far we've been focusing on the individual with autism, but I'm curious about the family dynamic.
Oh, that's interesting.
Can sand tray therapy benefit the family as a whole?
It absolutely can.
Okay.
Family involvement can be a crucial part of the therapeutic process. Sometimes therapists encourage parents or siblings to participate in the sessions
Okay.
alongside the individual with autism.
Oh, wow. I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah.
How does that work in practice?
Well, imagine a family creating a scene together in the sand tray.
Okay.
They might build a house, a park,
Okay.
or even a whole imaginary world.
It sounds like a really creative way to bring families together.
It is, and it goes beyond just fun family time.
Okay.
By working together in the sand tray,
Yeah.
family members can start to understand each other's perspectives better.
Okay.
For example, a sibling might gain a deeper understanding
Okay.
of their brother or sister's sensory sensitivities
Yeah.
by seeing how they react to certain textures
That's true.
or the placement of objects in the sand tray.
That's a great point. It's like it provides a shared language
Right.
for understanding each other's needs and experiences.
Exactly. It can be a powerful tool
Yeah.
for building empathy and strengthening family bonds.
Okay, this all sounds incredibly promising.
Yeah.
But I have to ask, are there any potential drawbacks or challenges associated with sand tray therapy?
As with any therapy, it's important to have realistic expectations.
Okay.
It's not a magic solution, and it won't fix everything overnight.
Right.
And of course, it's crucial to find a therapist
Yeah.
who is specifically trained in sand tray therapy
Oh.
and has experience working with individuals with autism.
That makes sense. It's not a one-size-fits-all approach.
Right. And while sand tray therapy can be incredibly beneficial,
Okay.
it should be seen as part of a comprehensive approach
Gotcha.
to supporting individuals with autism.
Mm-hmm.
It's not meant to replace other therapies or interventions,
Okay.
but rather to complement them.
So it's about finding the right combination of approaches
Exactly.
that work best for each individual.
Absolutely. And it's important to remember that every individual is unique.
Okay.
What works for one person might not work for another.
Okay, that's really important to keep in mind.
Yeah.
Now, for our listeners who are intrigued by sand tray therapy and want to learn more, where can they go for information and resources?
The International Society for Sand Play Therapy is a great starting point.
Okay.
They have a website with tons of information
Okay.
about the history, theory, and practice of
Yeah.
sand tray therapy. They also have a directory of certified therapists around the world.
And I know Autism Speaks has valuable resources on their website as well, right?
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
They're a fantastic organization for understanding autism and all its complexities.
Perfect. So much great information out there for those who want to explore further.
Absolutely.
We've covered a lot of ground today, haven't we?
We really have. We've explored the fascinating world of sand tray therapy
Yeah.
and its potential benefits for individuals with autism
Yeah.
and their families. It's been an eye-opening discussion for me.
Me too. It's incredible to think about how something as simple as playing in a sandbox
Right.
can be such a powerful tool for communication, emotional regulation, and social development.
It truly is. And the best part is it's a creative and engaging way to tap into the inner world of individuals with autism, giving them a voice where words might fail.
Well said. I'm excited to continue this deep dive
Yeah.
and learn even more. So we've spent this deep dive exploring how individuals with autism can express themselves through a sandbox and some miniatures.
It's incredible.
It is incredible. It's amazing the things that we've learned. But I'm curious, what's it actually like during one of these sessions? Like, what's the therapist's role throughout this whole process?
That's where the magic truly happens.
Yeah.
The therapist's role is absolutely crucial.
Okay.
They're not just passively observing. They are actively creating a safe and supportive environment for the individual to explore their inner world.
So it's more than just saying, like, go play in the sandbox, right?
Definitely more than that.
Okay.
It's about careful observation, gentle guidance, and deep listening.
Okay.
The therapist pays close attention to everything.
Okay.
The individual's choice of miniatures, the way they arrange them,
Okay.
their body language, even their facial expressions.
Do they ever, like, jump in and offer interpretations?
That's a good question.
Like, oh, you put the dragon behind the castle. That must mean you're feeling scared.
Not quite.
Okay.
A skilled sand tray therapist avoids making those kinds of direct interpretations.
Okay.
Instead, they might offer open-ended prompts.
Okay.
Like, can you tell me more about this dragon or what's happening in this scene?
Yeah.
The goal is to help the individual tap into their own understanding and insights.
That makes sense. It's about empowering the individual to find their own meaning, not imposing interpretations on them.
It's a journey of self-discovery.
Oh, I like that. I know there are different schools of thought
Right.
within sand tray therapy.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about that? Like, what are the different approaches?
Yeah, so while all sand tray therapists share a core set of principles, there are variations in the theoretical frameworks they use. Some therapists draw heavily from Jungian psychology, focusing on the symbolism of archetypes and the unconscious mind.
Others might integrate elements of attachment theory or family systems theory.
So it's important for individuals to find a therapist whose approach resonates with them.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And don't be afraid to ask potential therapists about their training experience and theoretical orientation. It's about finding the right fit.
You know, as we're wrapping up this deep dive, I can't help but think about the power of nonverbal communication.
It's amazing.
We've talked about it throughout the episode.
Yeah.
But it's really striking how much can be expressed.
I know, it's fascinating.
Without ever uttering a word.
It is truly remarkable.
Yeah.
And for individuals with autism who might struggle with verbal communication,
right,
the sand tray becomes a bridge
between
their inner world and the outside world.
It's like giving them a voice.
Yes.
Even if it's not a spoken voice.
Beautifully put. And what's even more fascinating is that the sand tray allows
for multiple layers of meaning. A single scene can represent a complex tapestry of emotions, relationships, and experiences. And those meanings can evolve over time.
Right.
As the individual continues to work with the sand tray.
This reminds me of something you said earlier. Sand tray therapy isn't about finding a quick fix.
Right.
It's about embarking on a journey of self-discovery.
And it's a reminder that we all have stories to tell.
Oh, wow.
Whether we express them through words or through the placement of a miniature horse in a sandbox.
What a profound thought. I think this wraps up our deep dive into the world of sand tray therapy. What a journey it's been.
It has been fascinating, hasn't it?
It really has.
We've explored the history, the benefits, the therapist's role, and even touched on the philosophical implications of this unique approach.
And I hope our listeners feel equipped to learn more. There's a wealth of information available online and through organizations like the International Society for Sand Play Therapy and Autism Speaks.
Remember, every individual with autism is unique.
Yes.
And what works for one person might not work for another.
That's so important to keep in mind.
The key is to find the approaches that best support each individual's needs and strengths.
Well, that brings us to the end of this episode of The Deep Dives. Until next time.
Yes.
Keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep.